What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and continue learning about Japan's 47 prefectures, Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, feel free to go check that out first, or stay here in Part 2. That's perfectly fine as well. But in Part 1, I started learning about how unique each prefecture is in Japan. It's like every prefecture has its own culture and cool things. So today, I'm excited to continue learning about the rest of the 47 Japanese prefectures. So let's take a look.
All right, moving on to the next region, the Kinki region. Kinki. First prefecture, Mie. This is the ninja prefecture.
Oh.
This is where ninjas basically came from. And
Really? This is where ninjas came from? Because ninjas are very, very popular in America. Very, very famous. I didn't know that ninjas actually came from a specific prefecture in Japan. That's very cool. I would think a lot of Americans would want to visit this prefecture because ninjas are so cool. They're so popular here.
trained or originated. You can even walk the streets in a ninja costume. It's totally normal here. They're also known for having the Grand Ise Shrine, the holiest shrine in all of Shintoism.
Wow.
It's also famous for being the place that invented cultured pearls. They're also known for having the famous Ama diver ladies. Jeju Island in South Korea actually has that too. It's really interesting. There's a lot of stories of female divers. And their culinary specialty is Matsuzaka beef and Ise lobster.
Oh my god, look at this beef.
Divers. And their culinary specialty is Matsuzaka beef.
Oh my gosh, look at this beef. That is a little strange looking. What is special about this beef? It looks like it has a lot of fat, actually. Wow.
And Ise lobster. Can't go wrong with lobster. Ooh, oh man, this video is making me hungry. Dang. You guys want to get some sushi with me after this? Shiga! This prefecture has the largest lake in all of Japan, Lake Biwa.
Oh, the largest lake in Japan. I actually didn't know if Japan had lakes or had many lakes. Lake Biwa. I've never heard of it before. That's cool.
Which takes up a quarter of their entire area. This place is also where the Goshu Ondo dance was created. It has Hikone Castle, again, one of the original 12 castles of Japan. You'll find a lot of those, what are they called? Shigaraki Takui, or the raccoon dog. You know those, you've seen them all over the place.
What? What is this? Oh, it's the raccoon costume that Mario wears? What is this? Shigari Takue.
Isn't the Super Mario video game the number 3, I think? Yeah, where he can turn into a statue. That thing is from here. Lots of companies and factories are from here. That means this prefecture has the largest proportion of manufacturing production out of any prefecture in Japan at over 34%. They probably get their power from that lake. You know, it gives them strength to move.
The lake. It's amazing how unique every prefecture is in Japan. It's like every prefecture has its own cool stuff.
Big things. Kyoto, the Golden Age prefecture. Kyoto was one of the...
Kyoto. I've heard of Kyoto. I don't know why. Maybe it's in an anime or something. But I've heard the name Kyoto before.
The imperial capitals, formerly known as Yamashiro. It dates back all the way to the 6th century. The kabuki theater style also originated in Kyoto as well. They have the best geishas in all of Japan, supposedly, I guess. They have a lot of temples and castles. And
wow, Japan has a lot more, special buildings than I ever thought. All these amazing temples and shrines. These old historical buildings and castles. Really, really cool architecture that I've never seen before.
And Nintendo is based here as well. Osaka! The second largest city in Japan if you don't include...
Oh, Osaka! I've heard of Osaka. It's a city, but it's also a prefecture? Kind of like how Tokyo is also a city and a prefecture. Osaka, I have heard the name Osaka, but I don't know anything about it.
The general Tokyo metropolitan area with the surrounding prefectures. Osaka is known for two things: food and comedy. It is said that some of the best and funniest people from Japan come from Osaka.
Really, comedy? I think Americans don't really get to see a lot of Japanese comedy. That'd be funny to see.
And they have great food here. Everybody knows they have their own style of okonomiyaki. They're also known for being some of the nicest people, but they also have a lot of ties to the Yakuza. Hyogo. This is kind of like the Seattle or Washington State of Japan. They're huge on like lumber and IT. They have one of the world's fastest supercomputers. Culinary-wise, they are known for Kobe beef. Yeah.
Oh, Kobe beef. I've heard of Kobe beef as well. This is very, very expensive, right? Very, very special beef, hard to get, especially for Americans. So this originates in this part of Japan. Okay. How expensive is this?
Yes, in the city of Kobe, some of the highest quality beef in Japan. And they have Himeji, again, one of the original 12 castles of Japan. Wow. The most well-preserved and visited castle in Japan as well. It's
the Japanese castles are amazing. I didn't even know Japan had castles. This is not what Americans think of when we think of castles. We think of like castles made of stone with big towers and like a bridge. The Japanese castle is very, very different. Very, very cool.
Most famous one, Nara. This is the history prefecture of Japan. It was actually the capital before Kyoto, and it has more UNESCO heritage sites than any prefecture in all of Japan. Todaji Temple, the largest Buddhist complex with the largest bronze statue of...
That is so cool that Japan seems to really take care of a lot of its historical buildings, historical statues and shrines. Japan really preserves it and takes care of that. That's cool.
Buddha. They're known for having a lot of deer just like roaming around everywhere. And they're really huge into calligraphy. In fact, Nara is even known for having those massive Nara brushes that are like as big as a person.
Huh? Wait, what? What is this? What? This is real? This is a real brush? It's bigger than a person. What? How big of calligraphy are you doing? I didn't know this existed.
And paint something with those massive... I don't know how they do it, but kudos to them for doing it. Wakayama, the Buddhist prefecture. Mount Koya is the headquarters of the Shingon sect of Japanese Buddhism, and it is home to the first Japanese-style Buddhist temple. Every year there's a pilgrimage that goes to Mount Koya. So yeah, Buddhism is a big deal out here. Otherwise...
Yeah, Buddhism. I don't know anything about Buddhism. Is Buddhism popular in Japan? Because I'm seeing a lot of Buddhism references in some of these prefectures today.
They're known for also just having really good weather. They produce a lot of oranges and 70% of Japan's ume, or their Japanese plum. And they have the largest waterfall in Japan as well, Nachi Falls.
Oh, wow. Wow. This is beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely beautiful. Nachi Falls, a waterfall in Japan. I had no idea that Japan had such beautiful nature and geography with these mountains and forests and waterfalls and lakes. I had no idea.
Wakayama. You gotta walk Yaman all the way to the Buddhist pilgrimage site.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Next region, Chugoku. First prefecture, Tottori. The one thing everyone knows about this place, they have the largest sand dunes in all of Japan.
Japan has sand dunes?
One thing everyone knows about this place, they have the largest...
Japan has sand? It almost looks like a desert or something. What? Japan has a lot of different sort of natural wonders, huh?
Just sand dunes in all of Japan. And they take their sand very seriously. They have like a sand museum with sculptures, and they have like a sand festival. Sand. It is the least populous prefecture with only about 600,000 people. What else? They're known for having pink curry called Oenokian. Shimane. Very obscure and rural. It is actually the second least populous prefecture. Not a lot of people know much about this place other than it has the Izumo Taisha Shrine and Matsue Castle. Again, one of the original 12 castles of Japan. They're also known for having some of the best pottery in Japan, though, following the Fujina Yaki style. They have very famous Izumo soba, which has duck in it. But
it's so funny to me how each prefecture is famous for something. Whether that's like, having certain plums, or for having a beach, or a lake, or pottery, or how they make certain food. Every prefecture has something special about it.
Fujina Yaki style. They have very famous Izumo soba, which has duck in it. But their signature dish is taimeshi, Okayama.
Taimeshi? This is a fish? You see, fish is not very popular in America. It seems like fish and seafood is a lot more popular in Japan by the look of it.
Is taimeshi, Okayama. If there's one thing every Japanese person knows about this place, it is the legend of Momotaro. Basically, it's the story about a boy that was born out of a peach, and he grows up to fight demons with his 3 sidekicks, a dog, a pheasant, and a monkey. That's my
Momotaro? Never heard of it before.
Kind of story. I love that. They have the Hadaka Matsuri, or the Naked Man Festival, and they have the Bichu Matsuyama Castle. Again, one of the original 12 castles of Japan.
Cool.
Hiroshima. Everyone knows this is the place where the atomic bomb was dropped during World War II.
Okay. So this is good for me to know. Because, yes, all Americans know the name Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where atomic bombs were dropped. I did not know if Hiroshima is a city or it's a prefecture, actually. Okay.
A lot of memorials to it. The people here are known for being kind of like really hot-tempered. There's a lot of motorcycle gangs apparently from here as well.
Really?
They have that really famous Itsukushima Tori. And you've seen it probably in so many postcards.
Whoa. I haven't seen this. This is cool. Look at those mountains in the background as well. Japan is beautiful.
Cards or whatever. Mazda, the company, is from here as well.
Okay.
Oh, and they're very famous for their style of okonomiyaki. And they say a lot of people in the Yakuza, kind of speak with a Hiroshima accent. Yamaguchi!
Really, I don't know much about the Yakuza. I know that's like a Japanese gang, I think. I don't know much about that.
Accent. Yamaguchi! This place had a huge historical role as, the Chosu domain helped overthrow the shogun during the Meiji Restoration period. This place is also kind of famous for being the place where, fugu, that, pufferfish, a lot of people train.
Oh my god, you really eat the pufferfish? That's like poisonous? You actually eat that?
Here to learn how to properly cut the fugu fish so that when you eat it you don't die because a lot of it is poisonous. It also has the highest concentration of caves and karst formations. It also has the largest cave in Japan. Region number 7, Shikoku. Nobody pays attention to Shikoku, but there's a lot of cool things. First prefecture, Tokushima. They have that really cool Awadori festival. Ooh. Lots of crazy things going on.
Wow, it seems like Japan has a lot of different festivals and celebrations. That'd be interesting to learn more about. Because the outfits and the costumes and the decorations are all so unique. It'd be interesting to hear more about the history of all these different Japanese celebrations. There's so many.
They have the Naruto Kaikyo Canal. It has some of the roughest currents in all of Japan. Oh. Lots of farmland. It's very rural. This is probably the least known prefecture, I think. Yeah. Awadori is probably the biggest thing they got going on.
So, some parts of Japan are more populated than other parts. Some parts of Japan have more cities and businesses and technology and industry, whereas other parts like this seem to be more rural, more out in the middle of nowhere where less people live. Maybe there's more farming and agriculture. It's cool how different the different parts of Japan really are from each other.
Sorry. If you got anything else, let me know. Kagawa, the smallest prefecture in land area. They are known for making some of the best udon in all of Japan. And their udon has chicken thigh on it. Oh, the best part of the chicken. Known as honetsukidori. I love udon. I love carb.
I can't tell, with a lot of this Japanese food, I can't tell if I would like it or not. From what I've seen so far, Japanese food is so different to American food, but it looks really interesting. Like, I'd like to try it.
carbs. I don't care. People say don't eat carbs. No, not me. I'm carby Barbie. I eat that down. This was the first place in all of Japan to cultivate olives. They have the Seto Ohashi Bridge, which connects to Honshu. They have Marugame, one of the 12 original castles again. Ehime. This guy is small, but they have 2 of the original 12 castles of Japan. Uwajima and Matsuyama.
So there's 12 original castles in Japan. I wonder how old these castles are. They're very, very interesting to look at.
Yeah, it's known for just having one of the best bicycling routes in all of Japan. Like the area is just perfect. The path is nice and smooth.
That's good. If Japanese people like to bicycle, that's good. In America, we we really do not get outside enough. Not enough people bicycle. People usually drive everywhere in America, so it's nice to see people on bicycles, actually.
It's a chill. It sounds like a really chill. It's a chill, calm place, I would say. Kochi, again, has one of the 12 original castles in it. Man, Shikoko, you are killing it with these castles. They have the Shimanto River, which is pretty much the only main large river in Japan that does not have a dam on it. They have Sakamoto Ryoma, the legendary samurai who led a revolution. He's so popular, they put his face on cappuccinos.
Oh, wow. There's famous samurai? I don't know much about Japanese history. I've learned a little bit about Japanese history, but there seems to be a lot of important Japanese people that I don't really know what they did.
They love skipjack tuna and skipjack tuna fishing. Their mascot is even Katsuo Ningen, a walking dead fish. Yeah. And finally, region number 8, Kyushu. Prefecture number 1, Fukuoka. The last and final prefecture known for having the most beautiful women in Japan. Okay. This is basically the richest and most economically successful part of Kyushu Island. They are known for having the best tonkatsu ramen. If you want a...
Ramen is very popular in Japan, isn't it? In some parts of America, sometimes people try to sell ramen. I don't think it's anything quite like authentic Japanese ramen. Ramen is really famous in America. We just can't really get it anywhere.
If you want a good kimono, it is said you come to this prefecture. They make a lot of great kimonos out here. Like the silk is made in the other place, but the kimonos are made here.
Wow.
Saga. They are known for having the most mochi produced here. They have a lot of cool shrines.
Mochi. I'm not sure what mochi is.
The most famous one probably being the Yutoku Inari Shrine. They have the International Balloon Festival here, which looks really cool. They have the Gara Olympics, which is the Mud Flat Olympics. They have the Imari Tonten Festival, and it's kind of like a battle that takes place between 2 shrines. And Yoshinogari Park has some of the oldest settlements in Japan, very well preserved. Wow. Nagasaki!
Oh my gosh. Japan has some very unique places. I mean, I haven't heard of like any of this stuff before. It's really fun actually to hear about. Here's Nagasaki. The other, so this is a prefecture as well that was bombed. So Americans know Nagasaki as well, at least the name.
This is the other place that was bombed in World War II. Basically, Nagasaki was like the place in Japan that opened up to the outside world. It was the first place where Europeans arrived, the Portuguese, they started trading. It also has the highest concentration of Christians in Japan. And they're also known for that Gukanjima Battleship Island. Looks pretty cool. Whoa. Kumamoto. Everyone knows this place from their mascot, the bear.
What is this? Kumamoto? Kumamon? I don't know this bear. I don't know this
thing. Everywhere, everybody it's popular all over Japan. Kumamoto, everybody knows. Let's see what else I got. I got the black
Kumamoto. Never heard of it before.
Castle, the gardens at Suizenji Jujin. Wow. And apparently I was told they make really good fried chicken here. Oita, probably the most famous hot spring prefecture. They rank number 1 in Japan's thermal hot spring and geothermal power output. And
that is really cool. Japan has hot springs. So these are natural water pools that you can visit and you can actually go in and it's just hot water, like a hot tub. That is so cool. We do not have that in America. That is so cool.
Number 2 in the world after Yellowstone Park in the USA. Yeah, a lot of geothermal activity. The most famous one, and maybe the most famous in all of Japan, the Beppu Hot Springs. It is also said that shiitake mushrooms originated here, and today they are the #1 producer of shiitake. And also they're known for suffering from bad typhoons. Sometimes just get pummeled by nature. Miyazaki. No, Hayao Miyazaki is not from here. This is where Japan like really starts to get a little...
Miyazaki. I've heard of Miyazaki. The animation Miyazaki. But I guess it's also the name of a prefecture as well. Okay.
Little tropical and like, you know, humid and temperate. This is like where palm trees start growing in Japan. Like that's how south you go. Otherwise, yeah, Miyazaki has really good beaches, you know.
I did not know that Japan had palm trees and white sandy beaches. That's just not an image I've ever seen before in Japan. Japan, I guess, depending on how north you go in Japan and how south you go, you can get really, really different temperatures and climates. Like you can get snow or you can get beaches.
You know, you can go surfing. It's a great surf spot. Cool shrines. There's that really big 37-meter tall Peace Tower thing. It's like their most iconic landmark. Wow. They have that really cool looking Takachiho Gorge. You can take a boat and go through it. Kagoshima. This is the last part of the mainland before you get the Ryukyu Island chain. They have some of the most famous active volcanoes in Sakurajima and...
Active volcanoes? There's active volcanoes. Is that kind of scary? That sounds a bit scary. Like these volcanoes could actually erupt and damage stuff? Japan has volcanoes, huh?
And they have one of the weirdest dialects in all of Japan. Sometimes it's completely unintelligible. And some people in the islands offshore, they even have...
So Japan has different dialects as well? Like different ways of speaking? Different ways of speaking Japanese? Depending on where you are in Japan. Okay, different dialects.
Have like what is considered their own languages. It's also home to Tanegashima, Japan's spaceport and launch pad where they shoot rockets into space. And finally, Okinawa. You've probably all heard of this one. And it's...
I have heard of Okinawa. I have heard of that. I had no idea it was a island off the mainland of Japan. Is this a city? I've heard of this. I don't know why.
Basically the Hawaii of Japan. Okinawan people actually have their own language and traditions and customs that are completely different from the mainland.
Really? Okinawa is very, very different to the rest of Japan? That's very cool. So they have their own language and culture, basically.
This is where karate originated. This is also where one of the most famous American Army bases is stationed, hence where karate was introduced to the US.
Karate was invented in Okinawa. I had no idea. Karate is also very, very famous in America. Very famous. Wow.
It was brought from Okinawa. They have a lot of unique food and vegetables and fruits that are only grown here and not on the mainland. Lots of beautiful white sand beaches and resorts. Wow. And Okinawan people are known for having the longest life expectancy in all of Japan. They just have a really healthy diet. So there you go.
Wow, it's beautiful as well. Okinawa is beautiful. So much of Japan is so beautiful. I had no idea.
So there you go. In a very condensed format, that's the 47 prefectures of Japan. There's a lot of stuff I missed out on, a lot of stuff I could have mentioned. But you know, it's kind of hard to make a video when you have to do 47 of any.
40, yes. That was a lot of information. I did not know Japan had 47 prefectures. So many. It's kind of like the United States, how we have 50 states, and they're all a bit different. But I would say the Japanese prefectures are even more unique. Like, all of them seem to have their own special celebrations and culture and cities and climate, like so many things. Especially like different types of food is really cool. I've never seen Japan like this before. So I really, really enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on Japan's 47 prefectures, what's cool about them, if you've ever been to these prefectures, that'd be really fun to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Japan and Japanese culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.